All right, folks, welcome to BS session 25. There's a lot to discuss regarding firearms in Canada today, so let's get at it.
This right here has the ability with a 30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
You're listening to your weekly dose of BS, ballistically speaking. The Ballistically Speaking Podcast.
Well,
Yes.
we are
Well, we have
obviously...
some very distinguished guests with us tonight.
Yeah.
Chris, what do you say we let's get at the formalities quickly here first and get into the meat and potatoes of this thing.
Yeah, obviously, so we've got Alex from Affordable Optics and Rifle Reviews. If you are not aware of who he is on YouTube, what is your problem? Just go subscribe and like already. We also have Miss Tracey Wilson from the CCFR. I am resisting just like screaming your last name in your face.
Why aren't you doing it already?
All right, 3, 2, 1, Wilson! I've never quoted Tom Hanks in my life. I'm just going to pretend that I'm just going to say that's Rod's quote now. The Tom Hanks doesn't have ownership of that anymore.
No, he doesn't. I think it's all mine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's get right into it. You're here because and thank you for making time in your schedule. We know that we are partially at least interrupting your evening with your man Colin. So we've got you for a short period of time. Let's make as much use of it as we possibly can. There's been an amendment to Bill C21 as though it wasn't crappy enough on its own. Can you give us a quick rundown of what exactly has transpired in about the last 48 hours?
It's the pickle on top of the shit sandwich.
That's the one.
Exactly what it is. Yeah. So anybody who's been following C21, it's been working its way through the parliamentary process. You know, we've had debate in the House of Commons. It's gone through 2 votes there. It went to the committee stage where it goes for study, and all kinds of expert witnesses came forward. There were 8 different sessions. You may have caught the infamous Rod and Talib battle on one of those sessions. And, you know, everybody got to speak to it, and now it's in consideration stage, which is a clause by clause reading. So normally at this stage, you would introduce small amendments. So there's some things in the bill that actually do need tweaking, like the red flag and yellow flag laws. You know, the changes to that seem to actually put the victim in a worse position than the already existing red flag laws we have. So we fully expected some things like amendments to things like that, which is exactly what an amendment is designed to do. However, in the 11th hour, after the bill's already been debated, already been had 2 votes on it, already been spoken to by all the expert witnesses who never got an opportunity to speak to this part, the Liberals sneak in through an amendment, a massive sweeping gun ban. And by gun ban, I mean huger than the May 2020 gun ban, huger than the handgun freeze. Like, this is the granddaddy of all gun bans. It's the largest gun ban in the history of this country. And they sneak it in as an amendment. Nobody got to speak to it. No one got to vote on it or debate it. So, of course, now we've got the Conservatives in a position where they're going to spend as much time as possible filibustering it and delaying it. And, you know, you got the chair of the committee, who's a Liberal, who knows that there was going to be an argument saying that this amendment is out of order, which it totally is. It's not within the scope of the bill. You're not doing minor tweaks to the bill. Like, this is an entire massive thing all on its own, right? So before anyone got to even object to it being introduced to the bill, he already, you know, preemptively ruled that it was in order before anybody said it wasn't.
Really? He did that preemptively?
Yeah, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
And I'd just like to let you guys know that this horseshit isn't horseshit, because I'm just going to say right now that it's not horseshit before anyone even calls it horseshit.
I just want to, be right up front with this, as I always am.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so basically that's where it is. I mean, you can go on my social media or on the CCFR website. We posted the list, but the list is actually only part of it. It's 309 pages long of firearms that are banned specifically by name. But aside from that, the amendment itself has a clause that says any semi-auto center fire rifle or shotgun,
the blanket,
its original design was capable of accepting a magazine that fits more than the prescribed amount of cartridges, which is 5. Now everyone's like, oh, well, my Browning bar isn't on the list. And I'm like, oh yeah, it is, buds. Here's the thing. I own a Browning bar. I own a beautiful 270 in Browning, right? And it came to me with a Canada compliant mag. It literally only holds 5. It's not pinned. It literally only holds 5. But that gun was not designed or manufactured in Canada. That gun came from America, and the original magazine for that holds 7. So guess what?
No way.
Yes. So this is what I'm telling you, is it's not just the list. It's also every other semi-auto that was ever designed anywhere other than Canada, which is almost all of them, that could possibly accept a magazine bigger than the prescribed amount. So it's a semi-auto ban.
That makes so much. I hadn't even considered that, but that makes so much sense.
Yeah. So that's why this is a major, like, red alert, like sirens should be going off. All the alarms should be going off. This is massive. So when people email me or message me and ask, is your gun banned? The answer is just automatically yes, it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Whether right now or shortly in the future, yes,
Yeah.
the answer is yes.
And it doesn't need to be named on the list. As long as it's semi-auto, center fire with a detachable mag and was made anywhere but Canada, it's probably banned.
And this is just for now, too. This is just what they have so far. This is just
exactly.
Yeah.
You saw what they did after. Right. You saw what they did after the OIC. They came out with 1,500 flat right off the top, right? And then added another, 600?
Yeah, 500 or 600 more. And what was funny about that, if you remember back when that was being introduced, they said, well, there's still plenty of other firearms to choose. We'll at some point be introducing a buyback program. We'll compensate you for your gun and just go choose something else. Like, what's your problem? And then,
like a single shot rifle.
2 years later, what did they do? They banned all the something else's.
Exactly.
So,
well, and literally just at Rod's, when Rod was when you were both at CQ, but when Rod was being questioned, what's his face from the NDP literally made that exact same point. And Rod was like, well, I'm running out of guns, buddy. And
now he's out.
Not even 2 weeks later.
We're actually going to put a video clip of that together because that's an important point, is they kept trying to pacify gun owners by saying, well, just go choose something else. Right? But here's the thing. Once that
plenty of fish in the sea.
Well, and once that goes through, then they're going to start looking at lever actions. And I remember my young lady used to hunt with a lever action. And I used to always say, she plays that thing like an electric guitar, just slamming out the cartridges, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's just far too dangerous, right?
Yeah.
And pump actions, look how fast you can hammer on the pump. So it's never going to stop. We need a political solution, and that's a new government.
I do want to get into that, but I also want to ask you a couple of if you even know a couple of qualifying questions, because I know there's so many questions yet to be answered about this. Specifically, Section G. It almost seems to me like they wrote it as kind of like a reverse onus on how magazines have always been legislated in the past. The magazine has always been legislated to the rifle that it was designed for. It seems as though this is now the gun being legislated to the magazine that it could possibly fit.
Yeah.
That is exactly right. So actually, Conservative MP Glenn Motz, who's a member on SECU, brought that up because, of course, the Liberals have propped up some officials there to answer questions. You've got people from public safety, from the RCMP firearms program, and from the Justice Department. And Glenn Motz went into a spiel about, it's already illegal to have a magazine that holds more than 5 in Canada, whether you pin it or it just holds 5, that's already illegal. So what does this do? Make the gun itself illegal? And they said, oh, yes, that's exactly right. Yes.
Oh,
it's confirmed. That's exactly what it's to do. So we're no longer reading about magazine. Yeah, they banned the gun that fits the magazine, regardless of whether or not you can actually ever get the magazine.
And here I thought that legislating the magazine to the gun was dumb enough, but I guess not.
This is not even dumb. This is actually so deviously brilliant that it's
I think that's the problem with it. Hey,
Yeah.
It's so easy for us to say, oh, what are these morons doing? They don't even know what they're doing. But they don't have to know about the guns. They know exactly what they're doing politically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at the history so far of what they've done, and what has happened so far, I think, has emboldened them to this point.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
let's push this shit as far as we possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
And they're proving they'll do exactly that. Now, if that doesn't wake people up, because there's so many people out there still that say, "Oh, they wouldn't do that." There's no possible way.
There's nothing
There's
they
no
won't
reason they would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Horse shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
It's got
here it
nothing to
comes.
do- Yeah, it's got nothing to do with public safety. This is purely political. But, you know,
Absolutely.
I've spent the last couple of days, like, you know, feeling like I've been ramming my head against the wall. But I got to tell you, a small, little, tiny piece of silver lining, or at least a shred of positivity is this. And I'm just going to speak frankly. You can agree with me or not.
Mhm.
But with the Conservatives, you know, we saw with Aaron O'Toole, we saw with Andrew Scheer, it's very difficult to defend against this stuff, right? You know, all Trudeau had to say in debate was, Aaron O'Toole, are you going to make assault weapons legal again? And of course, we all know exactly how that went. Now, Pierre Poilievre, of course, is a far more skilled debater, far more able to defend his positions, hold a position, and actually have a backbone and defend it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's still a very difficult question to answer. So when they went in May 2020 and they did the AR-15 ban, along with a huge number of other rifles, but we'll refer to it as the AR-15 ban, right? And then they came along in the summer and did the handgun freeze. So what I see a lot of gunners saying, you know, what are the Conservatives going to do for us? I want promises. I want this. I want them to come out against it. And when you think about it, it's like the Liberals are smart. They keep throwing this stuff out. So now you've got a brand new Conservative leader who's got to get out in front of the audience of mainstream Canada, who doesn't know shit about guns, right? Most of them are actually terrified of them, and try and defend the legitimate civilian use of AR-15s and handguns. It's like Colin's a veterans advocate, and I always say, you know, your job's super easy. Everybody loves a veteran. I'm trying to get them to let us hillbillies have our handguns and AR-15s, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
And I think
Careful how you use that term.
I think part
Which
of the
one,
issue
hillbilly?
is people
But,
assume
you know
that AR-15 is just
the silver lining is, though, is here's the thing. With this gun ban, we're going to call it the hunting gun ban. With this gun ban, they've gone a step too far. So now it's such a mess. Everything's banned. You've got hunting rifles. You've got bolt actions in there. You've got shotguns. These are no longer talking about AR-15s or handguns. The classification of firearms in Canada is such a massive, I don't know if I can swear on this show or not.
So
Yeah,
now
sure,
it's
swear.
a scramble. So any future effort to bring that back to any point at all, any reasonable point at all, is almost futile. And that's
Well,
the
I
whole
think it's
goal
easier
here.
now that they've included the hunting guns. This is what I'm saying. So now you've got Trudeau and Mendocino coming in and grabbing all the hunting stuff. And it's like, well, wait just a minute. You can look back to 2015 when former Public Safety Minister Ralph Goodale said he wanted to take the classification, take the politics out of classification. It shouldn't be done by men in suits in the House of Commons. It should be done by a panel of experts. I agree with Ralph Goodale on that. And it's time to get back to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that right there is the message.
So
there's a couple of points of clarification that a couple of people have been asking about, and I think I just want to rapid fire 3 questions at you if I can.
Yeah, let's do it.
First, bolt action rifles, they, regardless of caliber, if it's available in a caliber over 10,000 joules, they're banning the whole rifle. True or false?
Right.
Unsure. I'd have to get back to you on that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking specifically things like the Weatherby Mark V. It's available in as little as 243 and as available as high as a bunch of Safari calibers.
Well, if it's on the list, here's the best way to know. If it's on the list, you'll notice there's a bunch of Benellis, right? And everyone's freaking out because there's like 3 pages of Benellis. But if you go back and read paragraph 7, at the top of the Benellis, where it first starts, it names a bunch of Benellis. And then it says, with the exception of, and then there's 3 pages of Benellis. So those in the paragraph are banned. Those ones in the 3 pages of list are not. They're exceptions. So I would go back and read that part.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So maybe this is an opportune time here. Darlene LeBlanc says, where does one find this list? Chris, I know you've got that queued up.
I do.
The
And
link
I
for
will
that,
put it
if
in our
you
chat
wouldn't
right
mind,
now.
please. Yes.
So this is just the, I was only going to put that on Facebook. This is just the schedule that has the guns listed individually. And this second link is going to be the CCFR's blog post about the amendment itself.
Yes.
So anybody, both of those links will get you guys where you want to go. I got to ask you a second rapid fire question. I lost it here. Who the hell was asking it? Oh, man. No, I got okay. I'll ask JR's because it was number 3. JR wants to know,
Right.
Tracey, does it look like they have killed the buyback position as well?
That's a great question, JR. So here's the thing. They're doing a couple of weird, funky things here because we've got the May 2020 OIC gun ban, and it looks like they are wrapping it into this ban so it'll be codified in law. Because, of course, the majority of the court challenges against the OIC gun ban is because it's an OIC. So if they codify it in law, number one, it damages, if not kills, most of the court challenges. But number 2, to overturn an OIC, all you got to do is use an OIC, right?
Yeah.
So Poilievre could have waltzed into the House of Commons as the new Prime Minister of Canada, bumped out an OIC, whether he's got a minority or majority, doesn't matter, doesn't require a vote. By codifying it in legislation, now he's got to have the votes and the political will to undo all that. So it creates a huge mess. What you'll notice is they've taken the May 2020 OIC gun ban, this new gun ban, wound it all together in this amendment, and there's zero mention of a buyback. And I'll tell you why. The reason they didn't do that is because it introduces a financial element, and any amendment is ruled out of order if it requires a financial amendment.
You bet. Absolutely.
So that's why.
Yes.
So it's unclear if that kills the promised buyback. There is no buyback program, first of all. But it's unclear if that kills the buyback for the original gun ban, or if maybe down the road, if this all passes and becomes law, if they'll introduce some new buyback for the newly banned guns. They're not promising anybody anything. And I'll be perfectly honest with JR and everybody listening. I never believed for 1 minute they're ever going to give anybody a dime for any of those guns. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
No, because we're a bunch of misogynist racists.
Just for the very nature of being us.
Yes.
And I mean, if they prohibit them, in my opinion, if they prohibit them, then at least they can say that, they're now illegal. They're now assault weapons are now illegal in Canada. Whether they bought them or not, if they're still stuck in your safe, then they've still done what they intended to do, is prohibit us from using them for any sporting purposes.
Yeah.
And look at the good guys that we are.
They can still say they banned them, and they don't have to do a thing. In fact, not only do I not think they were ever going to give anybody a dime, I never believed for 1 minute they were going to confiscate a damn thing.
No.
They can't. It's logistically impossible. So,
well, listen, I've been of the opinion all along that they don't necessarily have to come and confiscate or buy back or anything, because if they make, how do I say this? If they make the fuel for your car unattainable, what good is your car?
Yeah.
We're headed that way.
Yeah.
The second question that I wanted to rapid fire at you actually answered in the third question. It was Chris Hoyen was asking whether they're trying to make it so that an OIC can't undo this in the future. So obviously
that's exactly right.
Covered that already. So obviously I think we've done a pretty decent job in as short a time as we have of encapsulating this monstrous dog poo sandwich. Let's talk about what we can do, because there seems to be a lot of really unrealistic expectations, which I can understand. People are upset that feeling of helplessness. You want to do something, but what can you do? And very easy to get disillusioned. Let's talk about the realism or the realistic solutions and what can people do? How can we be
approach to all this, right?
Yeah. Well, and this is tough, right? Like, guys, I'm as frustrated as everybody else. I'm a gun owner before I'm the lobbyist for the CCFR. And trust me, I know this community has been absolutely kicked over and over in the teeth by this government for 7 straight years. And I know the frustration. I got a guy emailed the other day and said, I bought a membership for $40. Like, how come it's not working? And I'm like, wow. Like unfortunately, that's not how politics works, right? It doesn't matter how
You
many
spend more at
memberships
the liquor store, pal.
Yeah.
Well, it's not magic, right? But memberships allow us to do the things we do. And I think things would probably be a lot worse and happening a lot quicker if we weren't there to be such a thorn in their sides. However, so here's some things we can do. Now, in the meantime, we are working on a massive plan. We've also got the best legal team in the country looking at this to see. We've been in contact with Justice Gagne to talk about maybe possibly amending our court challenge. You know, now that the game has changed, we got to change with it. So there's a whole myriad of things going on in the background, you know, technical things going on with all that. In the meantime, if you go to ccfr.ca, I've put up a link there, and it says, bury their desks in letters. And I'm not talking about emails. There's a lot of email campaigns going on. If you want to do that, you can do that too. But the most important thing you can do is send letters. So if you go to that link, it tells you everything you got to do, gives you the addresses to send it to. It costs nothing to mail letters. If every single gun owner sent 5 letters, that's it. You can print them off on your computer, sign your name to it, stuff 5 envelopes, free to mail, and send it. You may think like that's nothing. It's only 5 letters. If 2 million people did it, can you imagine what that would look like? They you know, stroll into their beautiful oak-filled offices on a Monday morning to 37 bins of mail and be like, oh shit, you know, now we've really. So that's something you can do.
They'd have to pay carbon tax on the burning barrel that they're going to use.
Or maybe they're going to have to postpone the court kind of thing, you know, while they read all these letters.
Well, I had a lefty on Twitter freaking out on me because he's like, do you know how many trees you're going to kill with your campaign? I'm like, good trees, they're a renewable resource. I'll go plant 3 trees tomorrow. We're good. But yeah, so letter writing is really important. Number one, most important thing you can do is literally be patient with each other. Everybody's on edge, rightfully so. You're totally entitled to feel the way you do. And it sucks because we are not powerless, but we're not in the driver's seat here, right? But be kind to each other, man. Stop being at each other's throats. It's exactly what they want. So just take a deep breath, stand by your friends, and stick together. The ultimate way to stop this, everyone wants to know how to stop it. The only way to stop this is a political solution, and that's an election. Now, I know everyone's like, well, we're stuck with Jaggy and Justin until 2025. That's never going to happen either. They'll never last until 2025. In fact, I have it on some pretty reliable sources that we're probably looking at a spring election. In fact, the Liberals actually just released their nomination applications and all their forms and all the things that you send out when you're about to go into an election.
Good. You're giving us a little bit of hope, Tracey.
Yeah.
We are the nation of elections, are we not?
Yeah, like that's the only thing that will really fix this. In the meantime, just remember, no matter what happens with C-21 and all the rest of this, as long as those things are still in your safe, you still have all kinds of hope.
Right.
So, you know, unless that awful day comes, you know, God knows when that'll be, that they ever get around to trying to pick these things up, just tuck them away, keep them oiled, and you know, we're going to work our best to get them back.
I think the worst thing that we can do as a collective is give up, because I think what's happening is the liberal whatever coalition, the NDP and the Bloc collectively are betting in large part on people just giving up. You remember what happened in, what was it, 1994? 94? I can't remember.
5 back then. So yes,
okay.
Clearly, I remember.
Shut up, you.
Okay, Rooster, I want you to pick this up after, but we have to ask Tracey one more question before we let her go, and I'm pretty sure I just saw Colin grab his jacket, so we're running out of time here with her. Okay. I promised that I would ask this question. I've never been a big proponent of it, but protests, marches. What are your thoughts?
Well, you may remember that a couple of years ago when they first announced the 2020 May 1 OIC,
Very
we
well.
marched on Parliament,
Yep.
and we had the Integrity March down there. It was the middle of the pandemic; people were still wearing their masks and using the hand sanitizer, whatever. And we had no idea if anybody would even show up. We got zero support from any other organizations. Gun clubs were great. They sent busloads of people down. We ended up with about 5,000 people in the streets of Ottawa.
It was
You
massive.
packed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a march. We thought of everything. We wanted to drown out uh, chanting that might not be acceptable. So we had a pipe and drum band lead us. We had our volunteers picking up garbage behind us. We left the city cleaner than we found it. And of course, we just hit the bars all up and down Spark Street after, and all kinds of tourist money for that. Yeah, Jake was the photographer for that. And that was absolutely incredible. Now, does it stop legislation, change the Liberals' mind? Absolutely not. That is totally for us to make us feel better, to get together. I would love to see, maybe some talk about doing that, but we need more than 5,000. We need 50,000. So it's hard because everybody's working. The economy sucks.
Big freaking
Drop
country.
everything and fly to Ottawa or drive to Ottawa isn't easy, right? So, but yeah, we are talking about that stuff. I am in favor of protests or marches, but I'm in favor of doing things that keep it on point. We provided signs. We asked people not to bring their own. We had our own stuff, and it was like I had Parliamentary Protective Services say it was probably the best protest he's ever seen down there, and there was gun people. So yeah,
Gee, imagine that.
it can be done.
And still largely ignored by the national media.
Well, CBC said there was like about 400 or 500 people.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're never
Which is
wrong.
a freaking lie.
Well, they
I
also
mean,
said-
just count.
They also said I refused them an interview, and then we
saw
had Coat of Arms there videotaping them interviewing me. So I replied to their tweet with that, like, man, these people lie right to your face and tell you you're crazy.
It's like,
That's-
tell us your fake news without telling us your fake news.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, crazy.
Tracy, I know that you've got a date to get to. I want to thank you very, very much for coming on and helping set the record straight for everybody. I dare say that despite everything that we just talked about over the last 27 and a half minutes, I think you've given a very good, clear explanation of what's going on and what we can do about it, what the CCFR is doing about it, and above all, like, keep calm. I think that's very important.
That's it.
And there's hope.
Opportunity, guys. And yeah, man, like, don't worry. When this shit happens, it's not time to give up. It's time to get up. So that's it.
Absolutely.
I'm ready
100%.
to fight.
Okay. We're going to let you go.
Good
Thank you
girl.
very much for coming on. And guys, if you have any more questions for the CCFR, contact the CCFR because they are absolutely 100% fighting for our rights. They're kind of the
And
tip
if
of the
you are
spear.
not sure if your gun is on the list, message Tracey Wilson directly. She will take the time away from her date tonight to find that out for you.
Yeah.
Son of a gun.
That's it. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Thanks, Tracy.
Thanks.
There she goes. Well, that was one way to send Tracy off, Alex.
Yeah, right.
Did she leave because of me? I don't know.
I think she did. I hope you feel good about yourself.
At about the 21-minute mark, I kind of saw right in the corner of her video there, I saw Colin like open a door kind of. And
I saw
I'm pretty
that.
sure he's grabbing a coat. I'm like, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
So that was actually pretty informative. That was great for her to make time to carve time out of her schedule to come on and talk to everybody really quickly. I apologize. I know we had a lot more questions for Tracy, and honestly, you guys know that we could fill a 3-hour segment and still have more than half of the questions to be able to go through. We are here for the next 30 to 60 minutes, where it may not be Tracey Wilson, but we're here to talk about it. We've got a lot of information up and about. Alex, I'm pretty sure you've been following this with following it with a fine-tooth comb. Is that a way to say it?
You can put it like that. Like I've been every post that's in CCFR, I'm like, what's happening now? And it's usually just somebody going, is my Benelli on the list? And I'm like, no, keep it for important crap. Come on.
And let's turn this into something, maybe something that we can laugh at for just a quick second. What is the most ridiculous named gun on that schedule that you've seen so far?
Is it the Buttmaster?
For me, it's the Buttmaster. 100%.
Oh, what? I didn't see that.
You don't know about
Really?
the Buttmaster?
No.
Okay, here's what it is.
Is it right next to the Ass Man 22?
Probably it is an Ass Man 22.
Okay, for those of you who are watching, go into the list, go on the CCFR's page, find the list.
Yeah.
Do Control F and just type butt, B-U-T-T, and you will find exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's I think in the list it's listed as BUTT-master. Serbu Buttmaster. Now here's what it is.
No kidding.
Sometime
I just want to mention right now that our intrepid supporter.
Can you guys
Oscar.
pull up an image of this from
Yeah.
Google and put it onto the...
As I'm talking, I'll do it here. So Mark Serbu,
right.
sometime in the late 1990s, created as a joke a little zip gun. It looks like a two-piece baton, but it looks like a two-piece butt plug is what it looks like. And I'm sorry, I'm just looking as I'm doing. It's a little zip gun in 22 long rifle. And he just made it as a joke. There's only one of them ever made. It never went into production. This thing doesn't exist except in Mark Serbu's fucking basement.
Okay, but am I the only one who kind of wants one now?
I would
No.
pay. I would pay more for a Serbu Buttmaster right now than I would pay for an SKS. I'll tell you that much.
You can take the ARs, but we want our Buttmasters.
We want the Buttmaster. I'm just going to share my screen here really quick so everybody can see it. That is the Serbu Buttmaster.
Yeah.
Clearly.
That's some secret spy shit right there, like
Isn't
James
it, though?
Bond probably has one at all times just up there, ready to go.
But you realize that the suppressor that screws onto the front of it is stamped Soundmaster Rectal Concealment Model.
Nice.
This thing is clearly a threat to public safety.
Oh, here we go. Next iteration.
Oh, the Sterling Arms Buttmaster. Yes!
Sterling Arms Buttmaster.
I knew we could
We're
count on
holding you
JR.
to that, JR.
I wonder what the reviews on that are going to look like.
You know what? I might forego
With
doing the
or
review
without
myself.
lube?
I'll find someone else to do that review.
Maybe we can get some sponsorship from KY.
On second thought, I think I actually take it back. I don't want a Serbu Buttmaster anymore. Anyway, so that one was clearly ridiculous. Some other ridiculous ones that were banned was the Calico M100, another 22.
What is that? I'm sorry.
Have you ever watched the movie Spaceballs?
Yes.
So
when I was like 16.
The Spaceballs
back in
Troopers.
1970.
Well, it came out in like 1991 or something like that. So whatever.
Shut up.
Tell us you own a lever gun without telling us you own a lever gun.
Shit,
what? I don't. It's always been on my list, but I don't.
His first gun was a single action army.
That makes sense. Yeah. No, and nobody needs a scope either. Iron sights were just fine in my time.
Exactly. So in the movie, the Spaceballs Troopers famously used the Calico 100 as their blasters. So for people like me, my first and quite frankly, almost only introduction to the Serbu M100 was Spaceballs the movie.
Okay.
But it's such a dangerous, and by the way, the thing was made in the early 80s for what, Alex, like a couple of years maybe?
Oh, I don't know. I've only seen it once, the show. But I don't know.
I know it's extremely rare these days. It hasn't been made for nearly 40 years.
And I think Forgotten Weapons, didn't they do a video on it and it had a ton of issues and it was reported to have really bad failure to feed, failure to fire rates?
I think he did the M900 though, the 9mm version of it though, didn't he?
Possibly.
But they've banned both, so it doesn't really matter. Or they're going to ban
too
both.
bad.
Yeah, it's too bad. So the whole idea behind it was that it was supposed to be like a very slim profile, and it had this rotary magazine on it, so it would hold like 100 rounds. The whole idea was cops don't have to change their magazines.
Yeah.
But it's just such a donkey looking thing, and wasn't reliable. Only made for a couple of years. Hasn't been around for like 40 years. And I'm pretty sure it's under the limit to be non-restricted anyways in terms of overall length.
I'm not sure.
Oh,
Anyway.
JR.
JR's going to make the JR Cox Buttmaster with the Calico M100 ass brake. Well, and okay, so we had we had our little laugh.
We have serious concerns about our friend JR.
Let's bring this crashing back to reality here. Vanya from Apex Optics saying, "Just you wait, they're coming for optics next." And
100%.
I don't think they would, because I mean, they already, if they ban the firearm, then who cares what happens with optics for them? Like, if you ban wheels on cars, then do you have to ban cars? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You've got a point.
Well, okay. You look at the regulation.
It could still kill the industry.
And shit.
If the industry is dead, then people aren't going to buy the optics anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree.
Should we pause for a real quick second and pay our bills?
You know what? I think we should probably. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I know that you spent so much time doing this, but I'm going to switch it up. So, our show tonight, guys, is brought to you by Apex Optics. When you buy Apex Precision Chem Standard, find them at apexoptics.co and grab yourself a Rival 4-32 rifle scope and get on the mailing list for more exciting products coming soon. And don't forget that today is their Black Friday sale on until midnight, November 28th. You can save $200 on the aforementioned Rival 4-32 rifle scope, plus get a $100 in-store credit, usable on other things at the Apex store. And you also get a free Apex hat like Mr. Rouse is wearing at this exact moment. And they also
Thanks for doxing me.
You're welcome. They also have multiple other things for sale on their website. We're talking flip cap covers. What am I missing? I know they've got a whole bunch of stuff on there.
The Tenebrex covers, the Kill Flash ARDs, and of course the Apex Optics shirts.
Yes, and don't forget, one of the Apex Optics shirts is, "But did you dial?"
Is it?
Yeah, you got to say it with the accent.
Yes, but
did you dial?
Did you dial?
Yes, did you dial? It's a great T-shirt. Okay, who's next there, Kurt?
Well, I have Ribstone Gunsmithing. From stock refinishing and modifications to general repairs and rust bluing on rifles, shotguns, and pistols. Contact Oscar Long at ribstonegunsmithing.ca in Czar, Alberta. Ribstone Gunsmithing, craftsmanship done right.
And EM Precision Rifles in Leduc, Alberta, building Canada's finest precision rifles. Commission a build today at emprifles.ca. Right now, you can't go wrong with a nice, good bolt action.
You got the wrong show notes up, but I'm okay with that.
I'm just fucking going wherever.
I know. Bolt Action Coffee, bringing specialty coffee to the precision shooting world. Order coffee and merchandise at boltactioncoffee.com.
Call sign 66. Welcome to the Brotherhood. Book a course with them now at callsign66.ca.
And Odell Engineering. Pick up a Canuck shotgun or Bergara rifle from your local distributor and tell them Phil sent you. Look them up at odellengineeringltd.com. Chris has a special surprise for us today.
Oh, show and tell. Let me put it. Check this motherfucker out.
Chris, YouTube's going to pull this one down if you show that.
Oh, I know. I show guns on here all the time. I give zero fucks. Yeah.
Okay.
They can
I touched the scope I touched a scope in one of my lives. I didn't touch the firearm, and they literally shut it down.
Oh, they've shut us down too.
Okay.
For having one in the background one time. So we're showing it clear. So,
I feel like that's like a stormtrooper kind of gun. It looks like
it is. I'm a real stormtrooper now.
You got to fire from the hip, though. That's the only way to do it properly.
Oh, whether it's from the hip or from the shoulder, I'm going to shoot like one anyway. Look,
my son sent me a. Yes, I do actually.
That
That's
tiny,
some custom work right there
yeah, from M14
by our friend at
Firearms
M14
Medic.
Medics.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah,
that?
M14 Medics.
This is just a little. It's not even functional. It's literally just a little fake.
Suppressor?
Yeah, but like tiny. It's not even big enough to look like a suppressor. It's just a little tip shroud.
To make the barrel look less skinny?
Yeah, it's literally a muzzle. It's literally a muzzle foreskin that was made for my gray birch that I hadn't put on there, and it looks awesome on here. I think it looks absolutely amazing.
So our
Anyway.
friend Carly Catolica from Apex Optics says, I like the other colors better. The white is a little girly for me. What does that say about Chris's preferences?
I will own this. Yes, I'm 100% okay with this.
I will love it, and I will take it home, and I will feed it.
And I will call it George. Who's next? What did we miss? Oh, it's my turn, isn't it? You said Ribstone.
Listen, we have Mark Scopes.
Yeah, Mark Scopes Canada. The Dion optical design of rifle scopes has a scope for all of your hunting and shooting needs. Find Doug and Nisa at marchscopes.ca.
Indeed.
And that's that.
That's it. That is
What
it.
about where you find the best scope and rifle reviews? I mean, I'm pretty sure you're missing one there.
Well, there's
but
one guy that
he doesn't
we
sponsor the
know
show,
of,
so fuck him.
but it, like, really,
But
No,
he's come on the show twice.
love was a give and take.
Okay, hold on.
Exactly.
I'm going to redeem myself in just one quick second here.
Hello, look at the shots fired.
No, just a minute.
Chris shoots like a stormtrooper too.
That's what, who said that?
That's one of our sponsors.
Oscar. No, that's not true. Stormtroopers don't fall off of platforms. They just can't hit anything. And I understand that I can't hit anything either. That's
Shit.
whatever. Okay, here we go. Check the chat.
Check it.
Check it. YouTube.com/@Epic Arms. Epic EPIK. Because it's not epic if you use a C.
All right, now I got to start sponsoring you guys.
Yeah, that'll be $5, please, Alex.
At least $5.
For cheap and easy.
Cheap and easy. Let's get back to the shit sandwich, shall we? What information have we not got out for people yet?
Did you you put up the link to the list, right? Was there a link there? Fuck, that's so far back.
Sorry, I was just responding to JR. JR was reminding us that he had offered us a rifle to raffle quite a while ago, actually, and we shit the bed on it. It was our own fault.
Well, and Bending Ballistics here, our friend Bender. He's having a little bit of a pout down in Kentucky.
Wait,
he's not feeling well. I'm not sure. But I think because we haven't been giving him love in the chat, he hasn't been feeling himself for the last couple of weeks. He's been really under the weather. And listen, buddy, I'm sorry. We'll pay more attention to you from now on.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to redeem myself again.
Yes,
Just
do
a
it.
minute.
Do it.
Here we go. You ready for this, guys?
Okay, let's have it.
Why doesn't that link work?
What link? Oh.
Alex said technically that link doesn't work. Just look up affordable optics and right. Why wouldn't that link work? That's dumb.
So I'm in the process of rebranding the channel just because whenever I talk to companies, they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, we don't have any like $5 items to talk to you about." And I'm like, "Ugh, whatever." So changing the name, changing the name. It works like mostly now because a lot of people know me by now, but the problem is if I change the name, then I have to basically start from a small channel again, even if I'm a large channel and people don't know who I am. So it's kind of a funny challenge. Like, do I do the full jump into Epic Arms, or do I do a very slow, gradual transition into it? Which is what I'm doing.
You can migrate a whole channel over. We know that from experience. But man,
yes,
what a shit show it is.
Oh, amen.
Well, I was just going to rechange the name in the YouTube section, and
that's
I've already.
fair.
took the title for Epic Arms. I've bought the epicarms.com already just for that. But yeah. I just have to start telling people it's Epic Arms, but then again, I'm wondering if that would set people away from my optics reviews or my rifle reviews because it's more of a generic name.
You have a real conundrum here.
I know it literally is pretty tough. I feel like my name explains exactly what I do versus Epic Arms. Are you talking about your own arms or actual arms?
Pretty soon
Look
it'll
at
be
this.
your own arms.
Oscar,
these guys understand rebranding. Yeah, unfortunately we do.
Amen.
I'll say this though. You should maybe just consider this, and you don't even have to pay me royalties. Everything under the sun.
Yes.
That's the.
What does that mean?
It means everything under the sun.
It can mean
like that would be
anything
the
you
name.
want it
That's
to
the
be.
name. Yeah.
So I could review watches and guns on the same channel.
You can do whatever you want.
That is a terrible idea because people will be like,
review
"We come
Serbu
here,"
butt plugs.
but that would still be guns, so that'd be relevant. But if I do watches, RC cars, guns, the same people coming for the things will be like, "Oh, this doesn't get me anymore." So I don't have little arms, and that is not true.
It is not true.
What is going on right now? I'm beeping like a madman at the moment.
How much do I have to pay to ban bending ballistics? What kind of sponsorship do you require to start banning people from the chat?
Well,
It's funny you say that.
yes, we can negotiate.
Vanya wants to see your guns. Oops.
All right. You know,
Careful though, it's going to get us banned on YouTube.
Yeah,
I think they're actually 22.
these things. Good Lord.
Jeez, that's almost as impressive as my arms.
So I'm 230 pounds now. I was 260 about 2 months ago. And
Seriously?
yeah.
That's when I saw you.
Yeah. I think I was 250 at TACCOM, and I've been working my way back down to 230. And
you're slimming it down.
You know how hard it is to, like, when you bend over to tie your shoes and you're overweight and you got a belly? It is not fun. It's not fun. You feel out of breath.
I don't know, but I do know what it's like to have to bend over 6 feet to tie your shoes. Anyway, we still have a lot that we can talk about here with this thing, and I don't want.
Is this a decent jumping off point? Not at all. But we can address it, I suppose. I'm not aware personally.
Chest rigs and tactical bags.
There, I know of a few.
Yeah.
Name them.
There's Confection Carcajou, which I think is a Quebec company. So Confection Carcajou,
Say that
CAR.
again slower.
Confection. You're just mocking me. Okay. Confection Carcajou.
A little.
No, I'm not repeating that one again. So AITacticalSolutions.com. They also have probably the most affordable body armor in Canada. And they're coming out with a new plate carrier and some new ballistic armor.
Hey, there you go. Just make sure you check your province as to whether you can have it or not.
Yeah.
Because they probably won't ship it to you if you're ordering it from a province where you can't have it. I'm guessing.
I'm sure they probably already got that figured out, yeah.
Yeah.
But anybody with a PAL, I think, is entitled to in those provinces.
Sorry, I need to mention our friend Rob Nibbs at Arctos Industries. They are also doing plates. I think they're doing carriers as well. Arctos Industries.
Arctos Industries, okay.
Yes, you betcha.
There you go. Should we talk about staying calm on the internet?
You know what? I'm not good with that. No.
I didn't ask if you were good with it. I'm just
I see.
If we
You're
should
just
talk
fucking bypass me. Fucking shut up, Rouse. Play your Scrabble or whatever you do in the background. Just show your beard, and we'll all be okay. And we're not gonna cater to your emotional outbursts and all that kind of shit. Is that where this is going?
Are you done? Just polish your pocket watch there, Grandpa.
For now.
Let the young kids talk.
Tell us about back when ammo was,
rimfire and paper cartridges.
No, sir. No,
Are you still looking for a 25 French long, sir?
As a matter of fact, You know, I know where you live, you fucker.
No, you don't. Oh, you know where I live.
Okay, empty threats. Like they're worth something, aren't they?
Okay. So here, I'm going to out myself. So I put up a meme yesterday. I thought it was funny. I was pretty bummed out like the rest of everybody else, and I was desperately looking for a little chuckle. And when I saw the Calico M100 was banned, all I thought of was Spaceballs. We've already talked about that. I couldn't help myself. I had to whip up a quick meme, and I had to post the meme. It just, I don't know, probably just made me feel better. And there were like some comments like, "Oh, this isn't funny," but
oh my, yeah,
one comment in particular. And I'm just trying to find. So I don't want to misquote anyone. Is the thing here? But here's the comment. This isn't funny. Your laughing emoji makes fun of the silly prime minister is fucking retarded. That's a bad word. Okay. Prime minister. It doesn't matter how dumb you think the bans are. Don't laughter. Get angry. They are stripping you of your rights.
So we can all agree to look past the deplorable grammar.
Sure.
To the root of it, I suppose.
Now,
and listen, it's a goddamn meme. You know, like illustrating the ridiculousness of it all.
The meme or of being upset?
The meme illustrating the ridiculousness of all of this.
Well,
shit.
and I'm perfectly comfortable admitting that like it's not the best meme in the world.
No, it's not.
It is what it is, but I don't know how worthy of being upset it is.
No, that's right, and that's the thing. I think this is what is starting. This is what divides us as a, oh fuck, I hate using this term, but community. Fuck, I hate that. But as a collective, right? We should be banding together on all this kind of stuff, and yet we have this infighting, and we're offended by something that someone says instead of focusing on what we really should fucking be doing. Stay calm.
Focus.
Yeah.
So this leads me to my next point. So number one, stay calm on the internet. Number two, if somebody doesn't stay calm on the internet, stay calm on the internet. Number three, if you're going to keyboard warrior, just for the sake of like, for the ease of following your rants, do it in only one section on Facebook. Cause this same person actually hit me up on, the WK180C owners page where the meme was shared, as well as on our main page. So I'll just read the first comment from the WK180C page. It says, "This shit isn't funny. Silly boomer tier memes won't save our rights. Fuck's sake." Now, here's the number one thing that's wrong with that comment. Why does everybody always skip Gen X? Everybody just likes to pretend that it's the fucking millennials or the boomers.
Like, nobody's prepared for the real tears that come out of that.
What happened to everybody born from the mid 60s up until 1980? We matter too. Right. Gen X lives, our lives are important, and we just keep getting overlooked. And I feel like a marginalized citizen with my 6.5 foot tall, ruggedly handsome, blue-eyed, white skin, and my middle classness.
I think with my my status as a member, somewhere in between all of that shit, go fuck yourselves, all of you.
But you're not even a boomer, dude. You're 100% Gen X. You're just
I'm not.
Yeah, you're a mid-tier Gen X.
Yeah. Yeah. I
didn't mean your personality.
For every Gen X I punched in the mouth for calling me a boomer.
Thank goodness we have this internet safety distance right here, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, your safety doesn't mean shit.
Oscar says that Gen X is suffering middle child syndrome. I definitely am suffering middle child syndrome. So I think we've established be nice on the internet. We've established that.
Let's at least engage this before we engage these.
Yeah, well, that seems important. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about the next important topic that I think is on a lot of people's minds. Wyoming or Montana?
I'm
South
picking
Dakota.
northern Wyoming.
Northern Wyoming. Why Northern Wyoming? Alex is like, what the fuck are they talking about? He's like,
I mean, are we getting a bus to go there? Are we like, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to need like an RV to bring all my crap. I'm pretty sure I know what we're talking about. Are we becoming refugees here? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, you want in? You want in?
I'm in.
We'll come pick you up.
We'll do it across Canada, like pickup, and just pick people up along the way.
Yeah, we'll just rent a big refugee bus. I wonder if the CCFR still has that RV that they repurposed for the RV tour a couple of years ago. I worry that it's not big enough.
I mean, we're going to need many of these. I mean, we might as well just order tractor trailers and just load people up as we go. And
I think that's not allowed anymore, though, is it? You're not allowed to drive a truck?
I mean, I hear they're going to put us in cages the minute we cross anyway because of, Trump. So, I mean, what's the difference?
Right. And that's going to be worse how?
I don't know, man. If they let us have our guns, I'll live in a refugee camp in northern Wyoming. Like,
it'll be a fun refugee camp.
I'm gonna carry my fucking 45 all goddamn day around that.
Yeah,
camp.
it's just like camping. What's the big
I don't
deal?
know what I'm going to use it for, but I'm going to have it just in case.
Yeah. Well, if you wander too far outside the camp to have a pee, and a bobcat, walks, or a mountain lion or something.
You could just start blasting.
Yeah. So anyway, I just started blasting. So we've got a couple of suggestions here. So Bending obviously is suggesting Kentucky. That's a very obvious one for coming from the guy who lives in Kentucky. But too warm. It's too far south. And,
are you going to sponsor? No, wait. Are you going to sponsor us? Because I actually have been looking at emigrating to the United States. You either need a lot of degrees or you need a lot of skill in the arts department and letters from your peers in order to be like brought over to the States. So are you offering sponsorship?
Really?
Or you can apply for, special consideration if you have an American bank account with $100,000 sitting in it.
I could do that.
I think most middle-class people, properly motivated, could come up with $100,000 to put in an American bank account if it meant moving to the U.S.
Mm-hmm. How long does the money have to stay in the bank account? Like,
I think it has to be there for like a year.
I mean, they're going to wait at least the time to like accumulate the money and then a year.
Yeah.
I
mean, I don't know how much everybody has in savings. It's not the best time to be selling all of your stocks, but
yeah.
So Bending Ballistics is going to sponsor us, but if it means putting up with his, making fun of my arms, I don't know if I can do
it. I'm pretty sure you'll get past that once you put the pythons around the neck and start squeezing.
Tell me again, they're 12 inches.
Well, I'm not sure what you're upset about. He keeps making anal sex innuendo jokes to me, so.
Which, I guess I'm not so bad.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, it does make me second guess going to Kentucky, but Jens is suggesting.
We have to know how to play the banjo. That's. I mean, listen, I have trouble learning different languages. The banjo is really complicated.
You do not have to learn the banjo so long as you have had one romantic encounter with a cousin who is no more than third removed.
You know what? That could apply to a lot of people from Saskatchewan. Not me, however.
Liar.
No,
I swear. Methinks thou doth protest too much. Yes. We have Jens says we should go to Idaho.
He says that, but
he's out of his mind. We're going to drive through Idaho in January, and he'll change his mind, I guarantee.
What we need is cheap property taxes, super cheap land. We need cheap electricity, and we need cheap ammo. So we need really good gun laws. So that's basically the criteria for moving to any state. Because I mean, I need to shoot at least.
You have to join a cult.
In Idaho, yes.
I mean, I might do it. I might do it. It's small price to pay. We're already in a cult.
I think we should start our own cult, guns and ammo cult.
You're kind of describing South Dakota. I hate to say that. not the cult thing, the affordable ammunition and affordable housing and affordable. But if you do want to make friends, I suppose, South Dakota's probably not that bad. Now, I've spent enough time in North Dakota to know that I don't want to live in North Dakota.
Listen, North Dakota is the terrain is very much like southern Saskatchewan, where you can almost literally watch your dog run away for 3 days.
It is,
and that holds very little appeal to me. However, the appeal it does have is that it's not this hot shit fucking mess that Canada is right now.
Yeah.
So Mike Heineck is suggesting Utah. See our comments about Idaho. And that's all
North
I'm
Dakota, I see here as well. North Dakota is a different animal, is what David Walcott is saying.
It is very different from South Dakota.
And Utah is the same.
Montana is perfect. The only problem is Montana ain't cheap.
Yeah.
No, I looked into properties. Yeah.
The properties
real estate in Montana is just fucking wicked right now. It's just insane.
Carly,
mind you, would I live in a multifamily dwelling in Montana to get away from what we have right now? Yeah, maybe.
It, I hate to suggest a commune, but it does solve. Interestingly, I was looking this up maybe 3-4 months ago. One time when I was upset about Canada, of the many times over the last 7 years. And there was a property for sale just outside of Kalispell. It was kind of like in the hills a little bit. I think it was something like 650 acres or something like that. Only 4.2 million American.
Only.
Oh, did you say only?
Only 4.2 million American. But you get 10 people together. You could spread 10 people out on 650 acres pretty good, still have a nice range, and still have enough property for everybody to hunt on.
I mean, you're always going to get that old guy that's like, oh, he shot his deer and it went onto my side, and I didn't like that. It's cool everywhere.
You got to cherry pick all your people, and you have to have a rule. First of all, you have to have like a kangaroo court, and the rule is like whiners get hung. And their share of the land gets divided up amongst the non-whiners.
So, Bending Ballistic says we're in Tornado Alley in Western Kentucky. Land is cheap because of the whole tornado thing. Well,
he's not selling Kentucky.
No, he's not. But what does it matter when you got a bunker?
He's got a mile range. Yeah. Oh my God, I need to go there. I've literally been looking for a property in southeastern Ontario, for like something that is like at least 1,000 yards, because everything I do now, 720 is kind of boring. Shoot it with 6.5, and it's even in really windy conditions, I'm still hitting my 8-10 inch plates, and geez, a mile would be a dream come true.
It sounds like it. So Carly is going to be our commune director, I think. She says, who wants to join us in the land of children's Tylenol and freedom?
Yes.
I don't know if she should be the PR person,
I don't know. She's got my vote.
And, now JR is not allowed to move to the U.S. until the rest of us do, because as long as we're in Canada, we need his guns, his influence. And, hey, I bought you that.
Yeah, you did.
I bought you that at Buc-ee's in Georgia. Anyway, JR, I'm sorry, dude. You're the last one to go. You're the last one on the bus. Yeah. Women and children and Chris and Rooster and Alex first. Have I gotten through all the comments? I think I probably have, hey?
Yeah.
Florida, that's an interesting suggestion. I know someone that I deal with regularly in Florida.
Here's another that I'm a big fan of right here.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Oh, no way. No freaking way.
Why not?
Why?
It's way too
not
cold.
Alaska?
Why would I go somewhere colder than where I already am? The reason why I don't go north, so my dad has an outfitting company in northern Quebec. He's got a massive lodge, like a bunch of cabins right by the lake. and nobody lives there, nobody works there, the place isn't even operational. If I wanted to freeze my ass off in 4 feet of snow, that's where I would go. But I like long range shooting, and I get an extra month if I'm here in the sort of Ottawa Valley. So no freaking way. Alaska is off the charts.
Well,
I mean, although it would be U.S., so better gun laws.
So
but...
you're talking to a couple of guys from the Canadian prairie. Honestly, Alaska is arguably warmer.
And both of us have lived in the Yukon
the
before.
Prairies. Exactly.
Yeah. The Yukon is quite nice. And so is Alaska.
I don't know what kind of powder puff weather you've been exposed to out in the Ottawa Valley.
Hey, we get 2 feet of snow, and that's as much as we ever want to see here. We burn tires every year just to make sure we keep global warming at a respective pace.
No,
you son of a bitch!
Guys
I hope
burn
you're
tires.
Paying your carbon tax on that.
I almost made a very inappropriate joke, and I'm actually going to not repeat it. So, what else we got here? I think Alaska's a great idea. I'm just going to say it.
I think it is a great idea.
Yeah, I don't want to leave you behind, Alex, but
I'm not coming with you guys to Alaska for your cult commune, so I'm already out.
Stop it! Stop right now. Think about what you're saying, for God's sake, man.
For God's
sake, I'm gonna go get made fun of by bending ballistics in Wyoming. I'm sorry, guys.
In Wyoming, he's in Kentucky.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure it's all the same lump sum area.
Nobody knows American geography, at least of all the Americans. John says, we are all used to frozen wasteland already, so Alaska is a decent choice. This is a problem.
Amen, brother.
We're splitting the community here now because JR doesn't like the North either.
Oh.
So we need some sort of compromise, and I'm sorry, but Washington
JR just needs a nice, warm babushka.
It's still not worth it.
Says you. Some of my fondest memories come from the Yukon.
Okay, so bringing that back to the current political climate in Canada right now.
Yeah.
Which would you rather have?
We have a third option suggested by Derek. We could just be invaded by America.
That would simplify things, but the problem is that
I'm not a begging man, but I'm prepared.
So I think that would actually be a problem. So think of this. The northern states are all very liberal. They all have very BS firearms laws. And Canada is also respectively very liberal. So you add our Canadian liberals to their northern liberals, and then you might tip the scales in the U.S. kind of elections in terms of who wins one year or another. So it won't be like a 50-50 chance who wins the elections between Trump and Biden. It'll be Biden. And then maybe Clinton someday, you know?
No, we'll do just Alberta and Saskatchewan.
Okay, well then
and anybody who wants to collectively become the 52nd state? How many states do they have? I'm not American, so it's okay if
49.
48, lower 48, 49, the 50th state.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to become the 50th
Hawaii.
state.
51st.
I think part of becoming a U.S. citizen, you have to be able to recite the national anthem and know how many states there are.
But to become American,
we're
you
follow Canadian gun laws. You follow Canadian gun laws to the T, and yet you're not willing to learn and recite the American national anthem.
No, guys, it doesn't matter. The ignorance that we just showed towards America already guarantees us citizenship.
Joe Biden's going to review this video and be like, sorry, no, and no.
Well, that's the other thing, too. I don't know if we have the population to really fuck up their votes. Even if we were all liberal in Alberta and Saskatchewan, we still...
Actually, we're New York City.
Yeah, technically we're 36 million, and their population, I think, is almost 40 million. So,
but let's face it, we're getting 2 million max involved in this idea.
Yeah.
I'd just like to point out before we move on that Bending keeps putting the acronym for Kentucky, and all I keep seeing him typing is about KY, and I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about
KY
now?
is kind of weird. Yeah.
Anyway, Joel Anthony's for sale.
Company?
Joel's for sale. He's got a beautiful EM precision rifle he can contribute to the cause.
And he does amazing amazing upholstery work.
Does he?
He's useful.
I didn't
He's
know he did
useful for the
upholstery.
Americans. Absolutely. What?
For the Americans.
Listen,
Boy, this
he can
went
outfit
off
your
the rails after
64
Tracey
Impala
logged off, hey?
like fucking crazy. Yeah.
We have not been on topic since she left.
Anthony's Upholstery in BC.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, good for him. Okay.
Look him up on Instagram. Anthony's Upholstery on Instagram. He does some wild shit with cars and, I don't know, fucking couches and whatever, man cave lounge chairs. I don't know. But he does some unreal work.
Can I bring us back on topic for a minute?
What was the topic?
He also has an EM precision rifle.
I have
mentioned
one.
that already. And Alex has one, and you have like 6, and I have one.
You got 6?
He's probably got about 6, hey, Rooster?
I'm just trying to mask my angst and my rage over the recent announcement over C-21.
I'm with JR. Let's use this as a segue back to the amendment.
Yes.
Let's do a roundtable really quick, all three of us. What do you guys actually intend to follow through with regarding the amendment in terms of the things that we as regular old citizens can do?
Go ahead, Alex.
Wow, fucking crickets.
I'll go first. I'll put myself on the chopping block.
Okay.
I'm just trying to be kind.
I mean, if there's a protest, I'll show up. I'm thinking very strongly of writing strongly worded letters. I think that's all we can do other than donate to the CCFR. And I'm already a business donator, so I could always donate more money, but they're already going to do what they're going to do. So
Listen, I think that's essential to continue donating money. Think about a larger donation, because that's really what's our strongest focus, or whatever you want to say, for this fight. It's clearly, I think, through organizations like the CCFR, the CSSA, stuff like that. They're the only organizations that are really going. And what's that, sorry, Chris?
Well, you got CSAAA and CSSA. There's 2.
Sorry.
No, I thought they were one and the same.
No, they're different. One's the Canadian Sports Shooters Association. The other one is Canadian Sporting. Oh, she's going to be so mad at me. I can't remember what the acronym is. It's such a hard acronym to remember.
Anyway, they're associations through which we can be taken seriously. Otherwise, we're a fractured group of a bunch of nobodies, according to the government, really. Right? We have a voice through them. I think personally that's the way we need to concentrate our efforts, as a united front, rather than individually. Yes, we can write letters, and we should, and flood them with millions of letters if we can. Whether or not it makes a difference is anybody's damn guess. More than likely not.
Even if it
but
doesn't,
at least
there's
it's
so
a
many
statement.
people.
It's a statement.
Exactly. And there's so many people right now that are so pent up because they're not doing anything.
Yes.
Just do, if all this does is keep people busy and let them get their vent out, whether they're listened to or not, I think it's probably a productive exercise at this point, to be perfectly honest with you. There's a couple of really good suggestions. I haven't gone yet, but I'll go and then let's get to these suggestions here. So I personally intend to definitely, I'm doing the letter writing campaign thing that the CCFR is suggesting. I'll be doing that. I'll be volunteering. We currently have a Conservative MP, Rooster. You and we talked about it last time.
Sir.
I think this next election would be the time to do it, to volunteer for our incumbent, and more donations. Frankly, more donations, because if they're going to have to pivot in the lawsuit, that's going to cost even more money. And if ever there was money well spent, that's money well spent. because that's a shot that I think that we as gun owners haven't taken before. And we have to take it. And this whole thing of like, well, 1991, they found that you don't have a right to arms. I'm no lawyer, but that seems like that was such a very specific case that was found. And I think that what the CCFR is doing right now with their lawsuit very much sidesteps and challenges that at the same time, if they're successful. So that's what I plan to do. Now, I need to mention this because I think this is a very important point, and it's something that's been bothering me for the last several days as well. JR says, I'm really concerned with the industry if this passes. Yeah. Jesus F. We were talking off air. We were talking about companies like BCL who already got hammered with the BCL 102 and the Order in Council, tried to pivot. They announced the SRV2 Siberian. Boom diggity. Maybe they'll get to put a lot or two out for sale before all of this shit hits the fan. But how many hundreds of thousands of dollars? JR just with the Sterling R18, that's still very new rifle to the market. There's I haven't spoken with JR about this. I don't know anything about this, which is the only reason why I'm talking about it, because I have no insider information about this. But I wouldn't believe for a second that JR has recouped even a fraction of his R&D costs on that fucking rifle at this point. And if it gets banned before he recovers, let's say he even gets to recover his R&D costs. Well, what about all of the other, like, it takes so long to break even on this shit when you're bringing new stuff into the market. Yep. They just haven't had enough time. It's going to be fucking devastating. And all of the other organizations, even organizations like Kodiak that have had the 180C on the market for a long time, they don't have anything other than semi-autos at least announced to fall back on at the moment. You know, BCL, they've got the Bison and you know, the other bolt actions that are coming out with
the TRX.
Good. The TRX, that's good. Thank God JR has two retail businesses. You know, like that diversity exists for some people. And so hopefully those people would be able to survive and pivot like they've done in the past. But not everybody has that.
No, do you think that argument, and that argument comes up fairly frequently about the survival of businesses in this country that survive on firearms and firearms related things? Mm-hmm. Do you think that even matters one fucking bit to this government? You look at what they've done to the energy sector of this country, of which we have an amazing amount, and from that alone, every single person in this country could prosper from. Mm-hmm. And we make the same argument, like the Liberal government has shut that down, prevented. Actually, companies have left Canada because of the policies associated with the energy sector.
Grey Birch being one of the most recent.
Yeah, I saw that.
Absolutely. And, you know, companies refusing to come to Canada to invest in our energy sector because of these policies. Do you think they're going to pay one bit of fucking attention to the firearms industry?
Well, no, of course not.
You know what? Trudeau and his cabinet are going, fuck you, you fucking plebs. You are nothing.
Well, first of all, we only amount for like not even 5% of their industry. So if we look at, let's say, firearms industry in the U.S., we don't even amount for 5% of that. So why would they invest all the effort to get product across when the profit margins are so slim, the effort is high, when they could just focus on marketing to the U.S.? We're like a second or third thought in terms of a lot of American firearms manufacturers. Like when I talk to
enterprise doesn't matter. Fuck all to this government.
But here's the reality. So Carly Kurtalitsa sent this to me earlier today. Can you guys see it?
Yeah. Bring it lower a little bit.
There we go.
Study highlights.
Yeah. So, like the gun industry in 2018 alone accounted for more than $18 billion.
Wow.
Sorry, that's not true. The hunting Hunting, sport shooting, angling. There were 4 categories: hunting,
Sure.
sport shooting, angling,
Sure.
and trapping. Accounted for over $18 billion in 2018. That's per fucking year.
Yeah.
That it's depressing just like talking about it, the fact that that's not even being considered. All that's ever being considered is, oh, well, they're fucking killing people, except that none of the fucking guns that they're banning are killing people.
Yeah.
And we're just going to destroy an $18 billion a year industry.
Listen, what they're doing to destroy industry across the fucking board in this country, you think it matters one cocksucking iota? $18 billion
One what?
industry. You heard me.
Okay. No,
Look it up.
No, it was the one cocksucking iota. I was like, what the hell is a cocksucking iota? But that's part of the problem.
It's a larger iota.
In a government that has run the largest deficit in the history, more than all other governments combined.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to feel some of the ramifications of their poor decision making.
I think it's largely due to people never like really feel the impact of a lot of their negative choices in terms of financing. Like we live in a society where credit cards and living paycheck to paycheck is common nature. So let's say I blow 10 grand today. Doesn't matter. I'll pay for it over the next 10 years. Or I buy a brand new $40,000 car. It doesn't matter. I'll pay for it over the next 10 years. We never really feel the negative impacts of our poor financial choices. And the same thing goes for political. When they spend a ton of money, we don't really see too much of the impact. We're like, well, the other guys did it. Everybody's doing it. We're always used to being in a deficit. So we're never really used to not being in one. So it's kind of comfort in this scenario.
You might be onto something. We're also used to these large-scale international crises that don't actually pan out too much for the vast majority of us. We're talking about the crash in 2008. For most people up in Canada, we were told day in and day out that this is going to be some great big disastrous thing, and it turned out for a lot of people to be a bit of a nothing burger. Now, people in Arizona,
we
a lot of
survived
Americans
because of the resources that we have.
Sure, yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well,
and now that's been cut off at the fucking knees.
Yeah.
Are we going to survive the next one? I don't fucking think so.
Well, and that's part of the problem is when do you reach the critical mass? And I think it's the iceberg analogy.
It's chip away.
Yeah.
Chip away until you have full compliance and full reliance on the national fucking government.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Speaking.
Here I go with my full fucking.
No, I believe
conspiracy theorist.
I don't think that's much of a conspiracy.
It's not.
I think that there's a concerted effort to remove the capability of the average citizen, and I don't just mean their capability to shoot things. I mean their capability, period, emotionally, mentally, economically, and call it physically, whatever you want to call it. Good segue here. JR again says we need to convince PPC voters to shift back to the UCP. Yeah. I don't. What does he mean, the UCP?
Well, Alberta's.
I think he's talking about creating another UCP between the CPC and the PPC. Gotcha. Okay.
I think he's really right there. I think we would have probably lost.
Absolutely.
I think we lost
Absolutely.
the election because of the PPC. If you add those numbers to CPC, we would have won. No questions asked. And we would have, O'Toole in power. But because our previous conservatives were so, I don't know, the way I perceived them was a little bit wet rag kind of thing, flamou. And nobody really had that much confidence in them. And they were like, well, let's go for the more conservative Max Bernier in the PPC, which totally wasted the vote.
Mm-hmm. And the approach that they took in the last election was, we need to try and appeal to the voters that typically vote liberal, right? Yeah. To bring them back over the line to conservatives.
But
Yeah.
Rooster,
Right?
they don't even
Clearly
need to be
that
brought
didn't-
back over the line. That's the problem, is people vote for parties. They don't vote for their own beliefs. The Conservative Party
This is
today, even Pierre Poilievre, is arguably further left than Jean fucking Chrétien.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
I'll tell you this: gay marriage wasn't legal under Jean Chrétien.
That's our fucking thing. Our grasp of history, that our fucking memory is as a collective in this country is completely fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the day-to-day, what do I see on fucking Facebook and shit like that that determines what I'm gonna do today, including election day.
This is why people have to stop voting for parties, because parties shift along the political spectrum to where they believe the majority of the voters are. Maxime Bernier has moved, since leaving the CPC, has created his party and moved it right of where the CPC was under Stephen Harper. The three leaders, that's not true. Two of the three leaders since Stephen Harper have moved the CPC party further into the center, and arguably even a little bit to the center left, if we're talking about like the global spectrum, in order to appeal to that larger mass of voters. Pierre Poilievre, I don't think, is moving the party any further left,
I think he's drawing a hard line, though. He's saying,
absolutely,
this is it.
And that's what needs to happen.
And I think that his line is perfect, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, guys, if you're still arguing about whether two men should be able to get married to each other, fuck off. The debate is over. The debate is fucking over.
Exactly.
You don't have to believe in gay marriage, but the fucking debate is over, okay?
Not a fucking debate.
Abortion in Canada, if you want to get anywhere, the debate is over. If you want to get anywhere federally, the debate is over. And again, your personal views do not have to match it. It doesn't matter. But if you want to get anywhere federally, the debate is over. Now, what Pierre Poilievre is doing that is more traditionally right-wing is on the fiscal side, not the social side.
Where it should be, I think.
Which is where it should be. And that's where you're going to appeal to more people. But as long as people are only looking at the party and not the person leading the party and where they are in relation to a person's individual beliefs.
That's a huge part of the problem, for sure.
Because here's the reality of the situation, guys. 10 years ago, I was voting for Jack Layton.
Who's that?
Lie. You don't know who Jack Layton is?
NDP!
I'm 32 and I didn't care about elections until I didn't even start following it until Harper was getting blasted by the media nonstop.
Really fucking angry at both of you right now.
Sorry, I didn't vote until actually I don't even think I voted in the election that got Trudeau in his first term. I just in my mentality, they're all the same, they're all BS. It doesn't matter what you do, it's always going to be crap. And then I got into guns, and then I'm like, I figured out I'm a conservative.
I care now. I want to touch Oscar's comment, but I want to mention first that, so I long time ago, I voted Liberal. For a very significant amount of time, I voted NDP. I now vote Conservative. And the reason is because those parties, I haven't changed that much. Those parties have.
Right.
And as long as we're only thinking about the party and not where the party is, then quite frankly, you're uninformed, you're unconnected, you're unengaged, and you shouldn't fucking vote anyway.
Because you're a fucking tool.
And I know that it's not okay to tell people that they shouldn't vote. I know. I'm not saying you don't have the right to vote. You do. You absolutely have the right to vote.
So
and
why
if you're
do we have
exercising that, then
qualifications for every fucking thing else? Huh? In order to get a job, you need a certain set of qualifications.
Slippery slope,
but
though.
To elect a fucking person to run this country, you need no qualifications. Fuck you.
The problem, though, Kurt, is that's a slippery slope, because what ends up happening if you instill things like that, it's not the middle class like you and I who get the vote. Because we had that before, and it was all the lords and ladies that got to vote.
Yeah,
You
the
move right.
bougies.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. The bougies.
I know.
So I want to touch on Oscar's comment. So Oscar says, I don't care who you screw, but I do care when you want me to pay for whatever it is that you want. And I understand that sentiment, but I do have to mention at the same time that I don't see people making political wedge issues out of the people who eat McDonald's 5 days a week and end up with a coronary or a triple bypass at the age of 42. Like, that's the thing, is this argument can be made for so many things. The reality is we do have free health care in this country. And I don't think that
nowhere near.
Yeah, very debatable.
Right.
I don't think,
It's
but
not
regardless, I don't think that we, those are some pretty dangerous hairs to start splitting, to say that, oh no, you get health care, but you don't get health care. Right. We're okay giving health care to the people with emphysema that have been smoking since they were 12. Why are we not okay?
Or the fact that they're fucking
healthcare?
Vaccinated.
Exactly.
That's
now
different.
Yeah.
Now, where we can start debating is elective surgeries.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Fucking doodle do.
Fucking doodle do. What do you think, Alex?
I mean, so I live in Alexandria, which is about an hour from Ottawa. I've been to the hospital in Alexandria about 4 times. I've waited once 7 hours, once 10 hours, once 12 hours. I don't remember I think the other time was 4 hours. But the healthcare system here is atrocious. People, I think it was in Calgary, one dude died waiting in the waiting room. Like, people think, oh, they have free healthcare. I'm going to go check my feelings at the healthcare center. It's like, no, you're going to wait there all freaking day. Like, if you work for somewhere where they require you to get a medical note, and let's say you call in sick that day, you're going to want to come into work because you know that you're going to be at the medical office the entire day waiting to be seen. So it's might as well go to office. You'll be done before. Like, our healthcare system is so crippled that even it was just right towards the end of the pandemic, they kind of finalized, I think, their negotiations for raises, and it was like a meager not even 5%, like 0.5%. And I know nurses that are from Cornwall that are in the firearms industry. Well, no, they're shooters. They're not in the industry. And he just said, I'm done being a nurse. I make $45,000 a year, and I work a shit ton of shifts. I think he went to go work for the railway. Completely change of lifestyle. He's done. Like, why? Like, if we're not already, I'm sorry to just turn this into the pandemic thing. We already said that the healthcare system was crippled before the pandemic, and then we said it was crippled during the pandemic. Yeah, no shit. Nobody invested anything, and you're not willing to pay people to do the job. Nobody's going to stay who's worth a damn, and nobody's going to get into this new industry. So you can say it's a pandemic because all the beds are taken. There's nobody to take care of anything. Yeah. Sorry, I turned that into a
I completely agree with you. And here's the thing. We're about to cripple $18 billion a year industry. We have been slowly crippling an $18 billion a year industry.
Slow bleed.
And it's just continuing. What was it, a $267 billion deficit in 2020?
Yep.
What could we have done to bolster our healthcare system with $267 billion?
Holy fuck, year? No kidding. Well, let's take a large chunk of that and send it off to Egypt to study sexual health.
No such thing. Sex is a deviant behavior.
I think it's sex is a fluid thing. I think it's a fluid motion, isn't it?
Oh yes, that's correct. Yes.
You need more HR training, man. I'm telling you.
Listen, I just like to take
I've never worked for the government before.
Tell you both to go fuck yourselves collectively
with a fluid motion.
With a fluid motion, yes,
okay.
Yes.
Carly, we're getting off topic again, but Carly says so many of the students in nursing school right now are there so that they can work in injection clinics, Botox, where they have a nice 9 to 5, no unions. They don't care about having a pension because they don't have to deal with the BS. And Carly, working at a Botox clinic, they're probably going. I mean, maybe the job security isn't there, but their quality of life is better because they're probably working in better work environments, and they're probably getting paid just as much, if not more. And like you say, 9 to 5. an 8-hour versus a 12-hour followed by another 12-hour.
Right.
Anyway, let's segue off of that and back to the voting thing, because I think that's
Master.
back to the buttmaster. Noah the buttmaster. That's the solution
Are
to
we
our.
back to the buttmaster?
Apparently.
Come on.
That's the solution to our healthcare problem, guys. Prostate cancer kills more men in this country.
We should just remove the prostates. Sounds like a simple solution. Rip them out.
But if the prostates were non-binary, there wouldn't be a problem, right? Yeah. It's all good.
Oh.
It's all good.
Oh, you're opening a can of worms now, because I could rant.
You know what? Actually, the community needs to do is they need to appeal more to the LGBTQ plus, the gay communities, and the minorities, and women specifically. That's actually one untapped market. So historically, the gun industry has been very much occupied by older, white men in their 50s and 60s that don't like change. They don't like to see anything other than single shot rifles, because you don't need nothing more than that kind of thing. And I think that's been largely probably one of the main issues in our industry is that generation refusing to, those new AR rifles are nobody needs those. Complaining about people shooting more than, one shot a minute or something like that. I think that's been a large subject of our own demise kind of thing.
Who's that YouTuber?
I think we need to remedy.
Something your armed girlfriend or gun girlfriend. She's on YouTube. She always covers her face on YouTube, but she's part of that, whether you like her YouTube channel or not. And frankly, I find it a little bit boring.
The armed girlfriend?
I can't remember what it's called. I wish I knew. She's done collaborations with Ian McCallum from Forgotten Weapons before, but. I think you're 100% right, and I think it's so short-sighted. And you want to talk about shooting yourself in the foot? How's that for a gun analogy? When all these fucking gun guys come out and they start making all these fucking idiotic comments that frankly were always idiotic, but just absolutely alienate everyone who isn't a hillbilly with a sheep. And now I'm making fun of them, so I'm no better than they are.
Are you going to lose your hillbilly sheep banging subscribers? Or?
Listen, I said before, careful how you use hillbilly. Thank you.
But
all right?
here's the thing. And I've been saying this for years. Who is a large, politically motivated contingent of the Canadian population that is not ever, and I'm going to say ever, almost ever, represented, at least in Canada, in the gun community?
That's not represented.
Not represented.
Nobody fucking knows.
I'll tell you right now, the queer population.
Yeah, they don't make a big.
They don't.
We don't hear of them,
and probably because they have so many other issues that they're yelling and screaming about all the time.
True.
But here's the thing.
Absolutely
so my wife is pretty plugged into the queer community in Saskatchewan, and I have yet to meet a queer who doesn't like guns.
Really?
Now, if you're talking about if you're talking about they're taking my guns away, Pierre Poilievre for life. Most of them are just like the rest of the population. They're voting ideologically based on party, not based on anything else.
Herd's over
and they
here.
won't vote for anything other than NDP.
Right.
Yeah.
Or fucking Green Party or. But when I just have conversations with people that aren't political conversations, and I've taken multiple queer people out to the gun range, and they fucking love it, just like everyone else. Yep. It is a rare person that goes to a range and shoots a gun and just says, "Oh, this is giving me PTSD." Do they exist?
Absolutely.
Do they exist? Yes.
Yes.
Do the politically motivated people exist? 100%.
Absolutely.
But when you take everything out of the equation, when you're not trying to convert someone, when you're just taking a person out and you're just giving them an experience, and they know that you're just trying to give them an experience and show them a good time. I have
fucking
yet to
awesome.
find anyone, and it doesn't matter who they are. The L, the G, the B, the T, the two, the fur, the fa, blah, blah. It doesn't matter.
Amen.
Now, I think the Canadian gun culture, and quite honestly, primarily due to people like Tracey Wilson and Kelly with Project Maple Seed, and with multiple organizations, Slamfire and She Shoots and the whole 9 yards. They're doing a very, very good job of trying to improve the other segment, which is the female segment.
Yep.
Yeah.
But here's the reality, guys. You don't need to want to have sex with another man to be able to bring someone who
Holy
does
fuck.
on side to the guns.
I thought that was part of the deal.
Not even close.
The way a lot of
All
people
right.
act, Alex, you would think that it is a part of the deal.
Exactly.
Which is why I'm just saying out loud, it's not part of the fucking deal, guys. They're still going to have sex with who they want to. You're still going to have sex with who you want to. Oh, and by the way,
However,
when Trudeau and Jagmeet fucking jag off with each other about gun control, they might actually think about it a little bit more instead of just default siding with Jagmeet, because the last time they met a conservative or somebody who supports the conservatives, they were calling him a fag. You know what I mean? Like, just get over yourselves.
Yeah.
Be a little bit more inclusive. We yell and scream about wanting people to be inclusive about us. We need to be inclusive too. I'm not interested
and I think
in having
we are,
sex with men.
honest to God.
I think a lot of us are. I think too many of us are.
Absolutely.
I don't think we're vocal
You know what?
enough about
You show
doing
some
that.
interest in picking up a firearm and shooting it, we will show you.
But we're not vocal enough about it. Like, yeah, I bring some liberal friends out,
We're not vocal. We're standoffish, and we
It's
wait
who
for those
we
people to
are.
come. We wait for those people to come to us, and we go, absolutely, yes.
But
we'll take you
those
there.
people are
But we do not go out and promote. We don't go out and say, hey, I don't give a shit where you're coming from, what you believe in, all that kind of stuff. Come to the range with us. We'll show you a great time. We'll show you, how to shoot these rifles, pistols, whatever, and show you that it's safe and
He's talking about gun owners here, by the
Jeff.
way. Jeff says we've been in the closet too long. He's talking about white gun owners, I think. So, yeah. Anyway,
Why is it white gun owners?
Yeah, horse has been.
Why
beaten,
is it?
I think, but
absolutely, it's been.
I'll tell you just before we move on from that, and actually we're way over time, and we should probably wrap it up. But just before we do, I'm going to tell you something that I've learned as a 6.5 foot tall white 245 pound.
You use that
artist.
A lot. I think it's.
Yeah, you've said it 3 times at least in this.
Done.
But the end of
I added. I'm 6'8". Fuck off.
But I added martial
you know what?
artist.
You're oppressing people
shut up.
like me.
Shut up. You're oppressing me. I added martial artist to the end of that. When I'm standing, especially with younger people, when I stand at the front door and people walk in the front door, if I just stand there and wait for them to come to me, they're going to and this happens. This is just the reality of the situation.
Yep.
They shit their pants.
Yes.
They go inside themselves, and if I'm lucky, they'll make it onto the mats and give us a chance. If I'm not lucky, they'll turn around and walk out, and they'll never come back. The reality is, if you want people on your side, you have to invite people to be on your side.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
No, you need to encourage that kind of stuff. You need to what's the guy?
We need to sponsor some LGBTQ friendly channels, and I think now is a really good time for me to come out.
It doesn't matter who.
For you to come out as a straight white man with a child who supports.
Hey, stop it! You're gonna ruin my chances here.
I just ruined your third YouTube channel. I just outed
I was gonna rebrand again.
Anybody who's willing to come out. Anybody at all.
Yeah, you'll take them out. I know that. But do they know that?
Yeah, they do.
I hope so. Chris says, don't ask, don't tell. I don't shove my preferences in your face. Do the same. Keep it to yourself. Be whoever you want to be. I agree, but we do shove it in people's faces. We shove our guns in people's faces all the time. I think it's disingenuous for us to pretend that we don't. But I do agree with the statement that he's making. Are we?
It's a very standoffish kind of thing. It's listen, firearms is a very big thing for a lot of people that don't know anything about firearms. And how do I get into this? How do I increase interest in this? It's very intimidating. Who do I go to? And there's a lot of people in the firearms industry that are very intimidating.
Yeah.
Right.
Like me, I'm super intimidating with my.
I heard you wrestle everybody who you try to bring out.
I wrestled.
Well,
them?
you're 6'8".
He tries to.
Did I hear before that he's 6'8"?
I think he might have heard it once or so.
Yeah, maybe.
Did you guys also know that I'm white with blue eyes?
Listen, I'm an old man. I'm 5'9", and I'm very cuddly.
And I've got gout.
Cuddly?
No, I don't have gout. I'm okay. I smile. Aside from what you've seen here so far, come to me. I will take you out to the range.
Come to Papa. Come to Papa.
Kind. I'm very kind, you cocksuckers.
Poor choice of words.
Hey, I thought we were trying to appeal to those people.
Listen, I have my moments.
There we go. He blew it.
We need to end
with
this.
you too.
We're going to send him to HR meetings, and some HR training and some sensitivity training. Yeah. He'll be fun.
That has happened.
I want to do a YouTube series with Kurt doing sensitivity training. David Walcott. You know what is gout?
It's an old man problem.
It would be funny.
That's hilarious. Okay, let's end this madness before we say something we can't take back.
Okay.
Where are we here? Guys, if you're still watching the show, if you haven't given us a thumbs up yet, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on YouTube's, please make sure you do that and subscribe on the YouTube channel, like on the Facebook page. Make sure you go to Affordable Optics and Rifle Reviews, also known as youtube.com/@EpicArms.
It's not Epic Arms yet, but yeah.
It's not Epic Arms yet, but that link did work when
it did work for me. I brought it and it just says page not available.
Really? Oh, that's weird. It took me right to Affordable Optics and Rifle Reviews. Anyway, Affordable Optics and Rifle Reviews. Affordable Optics and Rifle Reviews. Affordable Optics and Rifle Reviews. Hey, we also had Bending Ballistics was joining us all night too. So make sure you check out the Bending Ballistics channel on the YouTubes as well. And what am I missing here? You can go to facebook.com/BS podcast for us. You can also email us info@bspodcast.ca. Kurt, take us home with the closing comments.
Well, listen, we've got a lot of good sponsors on this show and a lot of good, what do you say, subsidiary sponsors. We've got Goddarg.
That is a much better name. Goddarg Industries.
He's got to rehearse this next time.
Sounds like an 18th century prospector.
We have Guard Dog foam inserts, guarddoginserts.com. And we've got a promo code BS15 if you want to get foam cutout for your rifle case or anything like that. Send them BS code 15 for 15% off your rifle or pistol case cutout. ExtremeRangeOutfitters.com. We've got NomadCustomGear.com. What else do we have? We have Shane and Steve with EM Precision Rifles. Miles Carey and Cappy with call sign 66. Duncan and Rob at Bolt Action Coffee. Phil Odell with Odell Engineering, Doug and Niza at March Scopes Canada, Vanya and Carly at Apex Optics, and Oscar at Ribstone Gunsmithing. Thank you an immeasurable amount for supporting us for these shows.
Do you think everybody would believe us if I said that we went off the rails on purpose just because everybody needed to lighten the mood a little bit?
It was all scripted. It was totally scripted.
Well, we were on
I
script
don't think
the whole
anybody
time.
would care.
On script the whole time. I'm winking the wrong eye. I need to wink that eye. Anyway. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Alex, thanks for joining us. Big thank you again to Tracey
Thanks,
Wilson
Alex.
From the CCFR for joining us for the first 30 minutes of the show. And again, all of our watchers, listeners, everything else, you guys, thank you very much, because without you guys, Alex wouldn't have agreed to come on here because he's not interested in just talking to us. And I'm pretty sure that Tracey wouldn't have come on either. It just would have been me and Kurt yelling obscenities at each other for the last hour and a half. So,
You son of a bitch!
Kurt started talking about his goat.
Have you seen this goddamn thing?
And we're out. See you all next week.
But some of these bullets, as you saw, have an incendiary device on the tip of it, which is a heat-seeking device.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Welcome to your weekly dose of BS, the Ballistically Speaking podcast.